Young girls, don't cry. You're not alone in the fight. The broken, the unspoken, we can't heal if the wound is open. It feels like no one cares to see your heart is bleeding. You cry if you know when you are when the wrong. It's time.
She said she don't want no many men. She need a man to come and stay. A real good man, a real good man, a real good man. No jungle soldier. She don't want no jungle soldier. Jumping around like a jungle monkey. She don't want you know. She don't need you know. Jungle soldier. She don't want no jungle soldier. Jumping around like a jungle monkey. She don't need you know. She don't want you know.
All space in my hand. Know the game like a man. Salute me, I'm a queen. Blow me like a fan. Need someone who understands. Got the blueprint, the key, and the plan. I'll be cool with a G, the fam. Hold you down, never take a stand. Don't need just any kind of man. I need a God. Can't be any kind of friend. I oblige. Come and treat the girl right. Lock it down, keep it tight. Build the bomb, won't fall. Tell me will you risk it all? I don't want no 1 minute man. I need a man to come and stay. Real good man, a real good man, a real good man.
No jungle soldier. She don't want no jungle soldier. Jumping around like a jungle monkey. She don't need you know. She don't want you know.
Yo, 1 minute's all you got. I don't do no after hours. You came, you saw. Now you know I got the power. Give me what I need. Go and bend the knee. 24/7 round the clock. You gon' be begging me. All I need is trust. Someone to give me love. The one, no 1 minute, one, no 1 minute man.
She don't want a man to come and just hit the road. She want a man to be there. I know I have to trust people nowadays, but you have to trust someone. She need a man to be cool, stay with her to the end. Anywhere that she go, know that she got her own that man. Not just only you, not just only her. Just too hard to find someone to just love you. She don't want no man coming on Sunday, Monday, fucking on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, on Friday, Saturday, leaving. No, she don't want no jungle soldier. She don't want no jungle soldier. Jumping around like a jungle monkey. She don't need you know. She don't want you know.
No jungle soldier. I don't want no jungle soldier. Walking around like a jungle monkey. I don't need you know. I don't want you know.
She don't want no
1 minute man.
Say it ain't no man.
Come and stay.
A real good man. A real good man.
A real good man. No jungle soldier.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Excuse me, men and women. Welcome to Commander Galpohkpa Chesson Talk Show. Today is November the 3rd, 2021. Did you hear the interview on Spoon TV with Vice President Boikai of Liberia? Did you hear the news out of Liberia of how the society is disrupted today? There's trouble in the land. There's deep trouble in the land. And after listening to Joseph Boikai interview this morning, I did this morning, it's troubling. It's troubling on many fronts. So let's begin to evaluate this thing and see what's happening in our country. Because, as I told you, that interview yesterday with McGill just touched the surface of some of the problems in our country. And he didn't address them to my satisfaction. And I'm sure not to the satisfaction of many of you too. So let's get into my show this morning, because Liberia is in trouble. Today's topics are killings at the doors of Liberia's elite. 2, Liberia is far from making progress, says former Vice President Joseph Boikai. 3, Liberia today. Let's start with my topic. Killings at the doors of Liberia's elite. Two our president's sons have been brutally murdered in just a few days. Then we wake up the news that an immigration woman in Breville house was broken into and she was found in a pool of blood. These are the news coming out of Liberia. Now, during the interview with Joseph Boikai, he talked about the problems in the country. He talked about COVID-19, how it is no longer a major issue. We accept that for the time being. He talked about the country not having health care. He talked about the mass poverty in our country. He talked about the difficulty moving around because of the congestion in the cities. He talked about joblessness. He talked about ritual killings, as we are having now, as never before in Liberia's history. Then the question was posed to him: George, we want people to come home next year. They want to make all this big celebration, welcoming people home, African Americans and Liberians. The question was posed to him, is it safe? Is it safe for us to come home? And Boikai straight up said no. Indirectly, he talked about the security of the nation. The conditions are not adequate. He said, all right. He said, what's going on in the country? With the lack of development, the massive impoverishment of our society, Liberia are not adequately suited to receive us. There are too many problems in the country for people to come visit right now. He talked about education being on the back burner. Not only are the schools not adequate, the facilities not adequate for teaching conditions. But he's saying that the children graduating from the school are not getting the education that's quality enough. People graduate, they can't spell. He mentioned that. Can't read and write, but they keep being promoted, elevated, higher and higher. And that's when he said, Liberia is far from making progress. Liberia is far from making progress. Sanitation, health. He talked about children in the streets. He talked about how during any time they had the same problem, they try to find ways to alleviate it. But the problem is right back. He talked about CPP, as it is today, and how there will be reconciliation. And they got to come together to make a recommitment to why they came together in the first place, to why they formed the collaborating party in the first place. And he has strong convictions that they will resolve their matter. But Liberia has a greater problem right now. Greater problem. You talk about the money, the indiscipline of our officials of government, how they got hearing problem. You tell them things one ear, they come out hearing it in another ear. How people need to be punished for indiscipline, dereliction of duties, disobedience. And this is the problem we're facing in our country. Total disobedience to authority. People make laws. The people carrying out the laws do what they want to do. They forget that, yes, you got to print money, but there are laws telling you how to print the money, what to do, how to do it, when to do it. You can't just do it on your own. Just because they print money, you just jump in and do it and go talk to foreigners, and the foreigners say, make suggestions to you, and you follow what the foreigners say instead of following our laws. That's been a problem for a long time. People come in our country and they start talking about the Information Act of America in Liberia. Liberia got Information Act. That's why I usually tell them, you come to Liberia If you tell me about Information Act and all the kind of things, I will flog you. I will flog you. You can't come in my country and want to challenge me on a foreign country's law. Are you crazy? Yes, we are part of America, but our laws are not American laws. The way the people function in America, we can't come in Liberia and bring that kind of thing there against our laws. And this is where the craziness comes in. Something wrong. Something wrong. Now here it is. The killing has reached the doors of Liberia's elite. I didn't see Reverend Tobo's picture, but from what I've been hearing, how that man was brutally murdered, his laptop was taken in the Mesorado company compound that's supposed to be secure. All of that got to do with property, money, and land. That's it. That's all. Same thing with John Tuckman. I mean, it's so bad now that people breaking into people's homes. Look at the data from the immigration department. People broke into the woman's home and killed the woman. She didn't have, it's not funny, but she didn't have CCTV. You see, and these are the same things we're talking about. But I listened to the boys on Spoon Talk and how they challenged Boikai. They were furious. They were saying, why would Boikai say that Liberia is not safe for we are to have his program next year? Well, all these things were perpetrated under any justice I live to. They killed Harry Greaves. Where was Boikai? Boikai didn't say nothing. They did all the shootings with the police shooting each other and all of that. Boikai didn't say nothing. So why can he point out what's happening now? But the situation is that I'm not taking sides. But let's lay the cards out. Boikai was vice president at that time. The situation under Ellen was not as it is now. Yes, there was yo, but Ellen still had the support of the Liberian people, which she still has now. Under this condition, today, the situation is unbearable. Every day, people waking up with dead bodies in the street. Now it's so bad, people breaking into people's houses. And not only are they killing one or two people, they have killed many prominent Liberians. The auditors, the three boys. So these people, that people, now when I come down to the Tottenham, the Toba, the killing, and you know the yo-yo will be in the city now. When you start coming to the doors of Liberia's elite and people dying, their computer getting missing, people breaking into people's homes. These people's houses are supposed to be secure. So what's the situation in our country? Why is it killing so bad now that is reaching to our prominent citizens, insecure areas. Are those burglars? Are those family issues? We hear Kev Hassan talk about maybe the top more people have family problems. There were big fight in the family. It could exist in the Toba family too. I was reading the newspaper about Reverend Toba demanding rights for his father, saying that the issues with the Toba killing and the executions in Liberia are not resolved, and we need to resolve them. So there are still problems in Liberia from the past. There are still issues of land and family disputes. Our families have broken down. There has been a total breakdown in Liberian family since 1980 to today. Wherever turning situation we had, from the coup to our various interim governments, to our civil war, to Ellen, we have come so far with changes, man. With revolutionary changes. Changes just come one night. And I keep telling you, our society is immature, is young, is blind, and it's not getting any better. It's not getting any better because the killings, our people in the diaspora, it's a far different group of Liberians. It's a far different group of Liberians. We got some serious issues to attend to. And you ain't even see the half an idiot. Because for us to avoid repeating the past, for us to avoid one group of Liberians coming home and suppressing another group of Liberians with elitism and bringing another era of Congo country that it may not be called Congo country, it may be called something else, but it's coming. And these are the things visionaries see. People that also live in the past and see what the problem in the past and learn and study some of the problems of our people. I mean, I like about Babadi politician that jump and say, "Oh yeah, I can tell you what happened in the past." I know people who went to school and evaluated our political system. That today, you can see that there's a trend. And if we don't avoid repeating what happened in the past, we have to look at that trend now and say, "No, we can stop it. We can stop it." But we have to make a concerted effort to enlighten our society of this trend. And this is where I come in. This is where I come in. I put the emotions aside. I put the chakra feelings aside. And I look at the issues as it should be looked at. If we don't check ourselves, we'll repeat the same things that happen. And it's happening right now. It's happening right now. Every day it's happening. People think this Congo and Congo thing that the name, the Totman, the Toba. No. It will change. Because the group that coming from the diaspora, many of them are your people with indigenous names. But they come in with different mentality. They come in with the same Congo mentality, but in a different way. And we end up with the same problem. Our society will not grow. Our society will not prosper. You have the same group of greedy people coming, and we'll go back into civil conflicts. And that has to cease and desist. And the only way to stop those things is for us to look at our country now, see the issues and problems that are going on, see how they relate to our past, and say, no, these things relate to the past. We can't follow this path. We have to find new and progressive path. And you see, when Boikai said, Boikai said something like religious thing when they talk about corruption, which meant it will not happen under his watch. But he got to show that too. He got to show that too. Because he got to give us guarantees that we're not going back into the past. That his leadership, the talk is good. But what are the efforts being made to follow through with what he's saying to us? We have to find the means to set the standards. Yes, he's the political leader, but Boikai alone cannot run our country. And everything does not deal with politics. We need visionaries. We need people who can sit out of government and evaluate our society and say and recommend to the government what they need to do. And this is where people like me come in. They got these people in America now. These people have been existing in America for long. They call them, what they call them? What they call them? What they call the group that? Some kind of council. The foreign council, some kind of council. It's independent Americans that come together with money and just sit down, evaluate the society. They're not in government. They're not looking for a government job. They got their own businesses. But they sit down, evaluate the system, and make recommendations to the government. And these are the kind of people we need in our system. These are the people we need in civil society group that will set aside. Like what I'm doing. We need people out of government that don't want nothing to do with government. That don't favor Joe Boikai. People like me, I don't favor none of these people. I'm not talking here because I want Joe Boikai to win. I'm looking at my country. I'm looking at the political and economic and social systems of my country. And I'm saying, look, we have this problem because of this. We have this problem because of this. I went to school to learn these things. It doesn't have to be historical. Look at our country. It's just based on honesty, just based on pure facts, just based on pure sound thinking. The thing that going on in our country is because of our own ignorance. It's because of our own blindness and selfishness and greed. Because there is no way that educated Liberians cannot work together. There is no way that educated people with PhD and masters cannot find a common ground to move our country forward. Everybody come and talk, they say, yo. And they go back and do what they want to do. And that is the problem with our country. That is the only problem with our country. And the killings will not stop because of that. The killings is just because of the greed. Right now, there's no law and order in Liberia. If the president can tell us to buy CCTV to replace our police and security forces that's supposed to protect us, there's a problem. The failure to communicate. There is a problem. Because if we really care about our country, these things that are going on CPP, it wouldn't be going on. I mean, what it is about power that Ellie Cummings cannot work with Joseph Boikai? What is it about power that Joseph Boikai can't work with? I know Joseph Boikai is old. He's been in the thing long time. He may not want to work with Cummings. He may not want to work with Cummings. Not because of anything else, but because he's been there a long time. He's been vice president and all. So what can be vice president again? Okay? And personally, I just want the best president to rule my country. I don't care. I evaluated both of them. That's why you don't hear me talk too much about Joe, Boikai, and Cummings. The only thing I've said so far is yes, Cummings tamper with a document, dissolve the thing. Dissolve it. But you don't hear me talking about Cummings' competence or Boikai's competence. No, they can't agree. They got personality issues. And I blame Boikai too for sitting down so long and letting this thing get out of hand. But now we can't turn back the hands of time. We can't say it could have been it. No, we're not going to play that kind of game. We look at what the situation now. We listen to what Boikai had to say. I don't follow people's words. I listen to see. Watch to see what they do. He has spoken. Yes, we heard him. It sounds good. What are the next steps? Show me what you're going to do now. We can't go around speaking the same thing over and over. It ain't going to solve our situation in Liberia. We need a master plan. And that plan got to be effectuated. While Boikai is the head of the CPP. Because right now we're looking at the CPP as the replacement of George Weah. Because too many things went on under George Weah that we must investigate. It can't go on resolved. So with all these kind of things, first of all, George Weah has stole too much money. People can't steal our money and get away with any of that. No, we can't do it no more. For 170 years, people have stolen from the Republic of Liberia with impunity. Somewhere, we must put the line down. Somewhere, we must say, no, there will be total investigation of our money. We're investigating it. Besides the money, we go into the murders. Too many people have died. The people that have died so far cannot amount to the tragedies of our war. So too many things have gone on for us to say we forget what's going on. There has to be a major investigation from Ellen's system, from Ellen's government to today. We want to know what our money is. We want to know why all this murder and killing was about. People will not get away with it. People will not get away with it. Because there have been too many people killed. Too much money missing. Too much irresponsibility, unaccountability, and derelictions of duties. So, to overhaul our country, if people want to run from the war crimes court, we cannot run from the overhauling of our system. We can't run from it. Something has to be done. The dysfunctionalities or the dysfunctional living, the dysfunctional attitudes and behaviors of our people in power, all of those things will be investigated. There must be national records of this time and era in our history so that we can relate to it for precedence and guidance of where we come from and where we're going. We got to account for who we are. There are too many things going on that are not natural, that are not normal for our people in the society. We have gone through too many killings, illicit, wicked, that we have to resolve. We have to be closer to. This era in our society must be closed. It must be closed. It's still open. And this era is part of our war era, our dysfunctional era. This era is our era of corruption and stealing and killing and selfishness and greed. And we must bring closer to it. We must bring closer to it. By punishing people, by making people accountable for what they did. Whatever way we want to do it. But there must be accountability. And we must set the path for our own peace and stability. Our sovereignty hangs in the balance. Our identity as a people and a nation is threatened. For us to reclaim ourselves, we have to make, just as Boikai said, a commitment. It got to be public and personal. We got to make commitment to reclaim who we are and move better forward. We got to make a commitment to be patriots of the West African Republic of Liberia. And the only way we can do that is turning to our laws and holding those accountable that must be held accountable under law. If we continue on this path, we will not succeed. We fail. We fail. Education without discipline is chaos. Education without discipline is chaos. And what is happening in our country today is our society run amok. Our society is going crazy. And we got to halt and reel ourselves back and recommit ourselves. Recommit ourselves to our mission and objectives and goals as citizens of the West African Republic of Liberia. We got to do something. The way our society is running is crazy. When the killings and murders begin to reach to the doors of our elites and people that we know supposed to be secure and safe, and we see that the things that happen in our community have penetrated our society and gone to their doors, and now we're finding our people homes being broken into, their necks being cut, sliced, and brutally killed and murdered. This is a public concern. Far, far, far too run amok. So it behooves us as a people to stop and look at the senselessness that's going on in our society. It can't persist. We as a people have an obligation to demand that our leaders act to protect us and defend us. And something is wrong in our society. Something is wrong. When the killings begin to get to the doors of Liberia's elite. Let me take a break. I'll be back with my second topic. Something got to be done. President Joseph Boikai didn't have to tell us that Liberia is far from making progress. He didn't have to tell us that. All of us in America can see it. Even with the CPP that he's leading, there's problems. Deep problems of division, a divide. And it can't go on. This divide has been in our country forever, but it became worse from 1980 to today, and we got to put a stop to it. We got to say, no, it's not right. This is not who we are as Liberian people. We got to go, all of us in the past, from the past, got to remember who we are, because our young children don't know. Our young children never had a chance to enjoy our country the way we enjoy it. They can only live off our memory. All of us from the Tubman era, we knew what progress and sense of development we were feeling in those days. And that's what we miss. Because we knew our country shouldn't be like this. We know our country and our people are far better than this. We're far better than this, man. Yes, we got our country Congo issues, but we're far better than this, man. We're far better than this. When that coup happened in 1980, there were indigenous and Congo people fighting with each other to protect me. To protect me. When the people came to get me or Cardinal College, that were not Congo people alone who saved me. What are you talking about? That were Liberian people. That were coming out of cost. Out of cost, I don't care. Because I know, and the people know who know me. Know what I stand for. It's not about hate. I'm pissed. I'm pissed. It's not about elitism. What kind of elitism? Huh? What got in Liberia that so elitism? Huh? All of us been in the ghetto. All of us not eat with our hands. All of us not do what we not do. Huh? What kind of elitism? When the people in America, the young children in America, when they talk about Congo country and elitism, they don't know what they have no concept about it. But there's no elitism in Liberia. We all live together. We all did the same thing together. We all hung together. It was just greed that divided us. It was just greed and selfishness. And it's still doing it. We haven't changed. We haven't changed. We just got worse. We just lost sight of the little dignity we had as a people. And now we're going totally backward with these people. And to compound it again, the young people in America, they're just as bad as the young people in Liberia. They're blind. They're blind. Because you can't blame them too, because you can hear the story all you want. If you never live in the society, you will never really see or understand what it means. Because even right now, when I return home, people look at me and just me back. People I haven't seen for years, 20, 30 years. I'm passing and looking at me. I'm looking at them. Just me back. And as soon as they find out of me, but I was a basketball star in my country, so as soon as they find out of me, people start calling me and want to talk to me, want everybody catch. You know how people want. Our society is poor. So every time people see you come from America, they think you come with money. They don't know we in America poor too. But that's it. So we are far from progress. We're far. Until there is a concerted effort made by Liberians in the diaspora to come together and focus on our country from abroad, Liberia will not develop. Will not develop because if we have a lot of Liberians in the diaspora wanting to go home, we're all in their plans, we're all in an objective, we're all in a solid structure. I'm thinking the word program for our country. Because just as in our country, I was talking about y'all, telling y'all that we need people who are outside of government to come together. That's how we need people in the diaspora who care about our country, about our focus, and understand that to build our country, it got to be a two-pronged effort. One group got to be in Liberia, one group got to be in America. And the American group got to be strong. Because in this side of our efforts, we are dealing with educated people, white people, black people, Indian people, Hispanic people. And you got to know how to relate to these people on an educational level. Because the way we're doing it now, that just individual going, reaching out to senators and things. No, we need a concerted effort from a group like EULA. But a group that is so structured that the white people will want to listen to us. Right now, EULA is not structured. EULA is weak. And it's always been weak because the people that lead it are greedy. They do it just for power. Some of them may love our country and our people, but they don't have that understanding of how significant EULA can be to Liberians here, especially, and in Liberia, just as equally, especially. They don't understand it. So when they take over EULA, everything is honorable this. That's not what EULA is for. I don't want you to call me honorable. Why are you calling me honorable, sir? That's not a government. So when you hear people with that kind of misnomer, they don't know what they're doing. Everybody wants to know honorable from the southern region, honorable from Maryland County, from the state of Maryland, honorable from the state of Virginia. What all that shit for? Ain't worth it. That's not the purpose of ULA. If we had a real viable organization that was set up to take care of the needs of the Liberian people and run after Congress for our interests here and home, we're not have time for that kind of honorable. Who want honorable? Why can't you call me honorable? We'll be sitting there developing programs and running money, handling big money for our country, calling the shots, working with our government to enhance the living of our people. But when we come in this kind of area here, it was just everybody want to be government official. Everybody want power. It can't work. They're working just too much. And we can't have our country in government. There are too many things our country needs. We need a strategic plan for our country because our agricultural sector is a viable sector for our country and our people. And all of us got to pay attention to our agricultural sector. Because if we don't, we'll continue to be subservient to other people. We in this country can make our agricultural system in Liberia viable for our people. We can do it. But there has to be a concerted effort. The leadership in Liberia got to understand that there has to be peace. There has to be a stable government. There has to be a fundamental system of democracy that will exist and persist and will grow. Because we cannot help that kind of system and our people if those things are in place. If we don't have a stable government, we don't have leaders in Liberia who understand that for Liberia to exist and grow and prosper fast, there has to be a connection between home and abroad. And that connection got to be solid on leadership foundations. We got to have strong leaders at home and strong leaders abroad. Just as equally. If we want our country to really grow, has been my philosophy all along. If we want our country to really grow, we have to make concerted efforts to ensure that our government at home is stable, honest, trustworthy, and productive. We got to. And in order to do that, the citizens of the Republic of Liberia have to know their leaders, got to make themselves devoid of tribalism, got to strive to open their eyes and study the people they want to lead us. And every time we go to vote or select our leaders, we must find out what we see in those people that will make us want to have them lead us. We got to look for certain traits. And one of the traits is when they tell us something, they got to do it. That's the main trait we got to look for in our leaders. Our leaders got to be people who, from time they were small, when they say, I will do something, they will do it. That's it. Simple thing. That's how we choose our leaders. Don't let other people tell you about the leader. If they will tell you about the leader, let them tell you, say that man, that's a man, when he tell you he will do something, he will do it. He has always been like that. Those are the kind of people who want to lead us. That's the simple way of finding your leader. You gotta look for education. You gotta look for nothing else. It's that person from small or from adolescent. When they tell you they will do something, they're true to their words. They're the only people you can look for. They're the only people that will lead us. And you see in the CPB, that's why you look at leadership traits. That's why I wanted Nombri Kanga to be vice president. Because she turned her money back. She was the only one of all those representatives. When she hear her all crying, yo, get your money back, get your money back. She wrote and turned her money back. Because she knew she had nothing to do with that $15,000. She knew there were no budget plans for that $15,000 they gave them, that $30,000. It was stealing. And it's still stealing from the government of the Republic of Liberia. And those people got to give that money back. They got to give that $30,000 back. Those damn useless rogues, they got to give that money back. You can't just jump up and put $30,000 in our budget. This is the same thing we're talking about. This is the same problem with Liberia. Our people just do what they want to do when we have laws telling them what they should do. But they devote for greed, for selfishness, for power. They do what they want to do. And there was no reason for those legislators to take our $30,000 each. There was no reason. So when we who are wise and know better, tell them, put that damn money back. And not your money. Nobody can put us back. She was the only one that wrote to the Ways and Means Committee chairman and said, take my money back. I don't want it back. Those are the kind of leaders we want. When you make mistakes and the community of elites or the community of erudite people cry and say, no, it's not right. It's against the law. Put it back. Be wise enough to put it back. Don't argue and say you're going to use it for something in your community. You do this project, you go buy all kind of little junk and give it to the people. You take our money, divide it with the pen boys talking about you giving them money. That's not what our money is for. That's not your responsibility. So nobody can wrote and put her money back. And for that, she deserves respect. And she got my respect. But these people cannot just be stealing from us, and when we cry, they tell us go to hell. They cannot. And this is what they're doing to us. That is why we are far, far, far from making progress. Let me take a break and conclude my lesson. All my young Liberian people, don't forget to join the Boy Scout. The girls, don't forget to join the Girls Guide. I'm coming home. I'm coming to take over the Boy Scout and Girls Guide. We'll take it to a different level. Okay? We'll make you a real survivalist. And men and women for the future of our country. We'll do what the Boy Scouts were intended for. To build strong men and women, survivors. Okay? Now to conclude my lesson for today, we got a serious problem in our country. And our problem rests on leadership. Simple. Our leaders have always set the wrong example for us. They tell us do what we do, say do, don't do what we do. And it's still going on today. It's still going on today. They write all these damn decent laws and they don't follow it. They don't follow it. They do what they want to do. And we're going to punish people now for that. Because it's killing our country and our people. It has done that forever. It has done that forever. But now, people like us, like me, saying it and want change in my country. I want change in my country. I can't live like this. It's not white man living. It's not foreigner living. It's patriots living. It's patriots. When you love something, you love it. And you love all that is connected to its people, its existence, its history. You love everything about it. And you want to make it better. You want it better. You want to make it better. So, that's the path for patriots of our country. You got to first wake up with vision in your head that you want to make Liberia better. That you want to change not only your life, but the lives of all the people around you together. That you have a vision, a dream that doesn't only include you, but includes Liberia. And when you grow up with that kind of vision in your head, that it's not for me alone, it's for us. It's not for me alone, it's for us. It's not for me alone, it's for us. We can all cross that line together. It's not for me alone, it's for us. I'm just empowered to show us how to cross that line. That's all. That's why it's nothing to boast about. It's nothing to brag about. It's nothing to put on my head. It's a blessing. And with that blessing come great responsibilities. Because when you are a leader, when you are empowered to care for your people, that blessing comes from the people. It comes from the people believing in you and your abilities to lead them. And through that evolves a type of spiritualism that comes from the people. And that's why power rests with the people. And our leaders are born. People are born to be leaders. Look at even George Weah. Before he became a president, he was a leader on the soccer pitch. He had a following. So all of this comes from within us, with our vision, with our dreams. And that touches our spiritualism too. Because as Christians and Liberians, what is the fundamental teaching of our God? Greater is he that is within me than he that is within the world. Aruta! Continue, start with the dream within you. Then it will grow for Liberia. It will grow for you and Liberian people. But you must start with a dream, because greater is he that is within you than he that is within the world. My lesson is done. In other words, pure and simple words, charity begins at home. Look yourself in the mirror and dream. Then you can dream for all of us. And let it be for us. Not for me and I, but for us. The time of the Liberian people is now. Aluta! Continue. Have a good day. My class is done.